Okay, we are live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Midwest F1 League. I'm your co-host Stat, here with Crash, and we are at the Singapore Grand Prix at is it Yas Marina? Or is that Abu Dhabi?
It's Marina Bay Street
Ah,
Circuit.
Marina Bay. I had half of it right.
Yeah. You'll get there one day.
So yeah, we are here at the Singapore Grand Prix, one of the few night races that F1 hosts during the season. How are we feeling going into this race here, Crash?
I'm very excited. I think this track is gonna bring out the best in drivers today. I'm very much looking forward to a couple of these sections here, and just kind of overall a solid race.
Yes, definitely. I feel like it's going to also be a war of attrition here to see, just to try and survive. I think with this track is notorious for being very unforgiving to drivers that aren't very clean around it. So it'll be interesting to see how many people we see DNF this week.
For sure. Now, we were kind of having a little bit of a chuckle prior about the over-under on safety cars. Now, we've had a couple of really solid races before here, but you put the over at, or who put the over? I think it was Claude put the over at 2.5, and we both went with the under. We believe that these drivers are able to do it.
Yes, we believe that we may have one at the start, like we usually do, and maybe one later on. But I don't think either of us believe there will be three. But you never know. We could just have an absolute shocker.
Very true, very true. But maybe we'll have a quite shocking a race. We got a couple of reserves in here today. I'll rip through those once we get into the lobby here, as we're waiting for one more to join up. But you know, as you said before, we're looking at a very exciting race for today, and I'm very much amped up to get into the Singapore Grand Prix. I'm very much of a fan of this track, as I said before.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's changed a lot over the years that it's been in F1. Obviously, the part of the track known as the Singapore Sling was very notorious and caught a lot of drivers out if they weren't very precise going through that. But obviously now that's been changed into a very boring and just a really boring corner to the left. One of my favourite sections of this track is actually going over the bridge. That section where it's all very tight and you have to hook it back after you cross the bridge.
Yeah,
Just to try and get that really sharp left-hander.
that's a very easy turn to go long in, which I find myself doing quite a bit. It took me quite a few
Oh,
races to
definitely.
finally, find my bearings with that turn.
Yeah, because you have to almost hug the right wall going around that last little right before you have to make that long left. And I feel like if you don't nail that, you just end up flying out of the corner.
For sure. It's one of the tougher ones, but we've updated the Twitch here. I've attached a poll question, so let me know if any of you guys see it and are able to vote on it. If so, that'd be very much appreciated. Any bit of feedback that we can get, as we're still trying to figure out and kind of get our bearings on this, of this Twitch thing we're going on. We just got word that Kaz is now replacing. I'm not sure who the teammate. Oh, Lord Zed, who was supposed to be reserved. Kaz is in for the Ferrari tonight, as well as many others.
Awesome. So as we're about to begin qualifying here at Singapore, I think Crash wants to let us know about our newest collaboration.
Yeah, so if you tuned in last night, you would have heard that the Midwest F1 League is proud to announce a partnership with Raz Energy. Raz is a zero sugar, zero crash energy drink with a whole whack of flavors, from guava mango to sour gummy. We are working on getting a Midwest product code for you to use on all your Raz Energy products. Most of the F1 Midwest drivers have tried and come back with extremely positive taste tests. Get a 12 pack for $30 online, which it comes to $2.50 in Canada, American, and $2.50 in Canada, Canadian is kind of a ripoff. Just kidding. No, it's actually a great deal. It's a great product, and a lot of our guys have been very positive feedbacks with it. So go check out Raz and stay tuned for a product code.
Awesome. So yeah, very very exciting times going on at the Midwest Fun League. Definitely
Exactly. So.
coming up in the world.
Yeah, we're moving up, we're branching out, we're starting to get our name out there, and we're starting to get recognized a little bit. And Raz Energy is something that's coming back to us, so we're very happy to make a partnership with them right now.
All thanks to the two of us, of course.
Yes, yes. It couldn't have been possible without us.
Nah,
Exactly.
it's a great thing for the entire league. I'm sure everyone's extremely happy with how the league has grown over the past couple months. So heading back to talking back with the race at hand. Do you think we'll see many people qualify on the mediums going into this race?
Quite possibly.
Qualifying.
Honestly, you might find someone unchoosingly qualifying on the mediums with maybe them setting a lap early here and then crashing out later, or just not being able to find that rhythm in the softs. So you might see a medium conservative lap, I guess, and then when they're pushing on the softs, maybe overexert themselves and not being able to truly set a time. I'm going to throw out that for a prediction today. I think we're going to see that once. Somewhat of a bold prediction, but a prediction at least.
Somewhat.
Somewhat, yeah. But
it's definitely not the. It's not an easy track to push the track limits on, because I feel because whenever you try to push the track limits, you're usually met with a wall saying no.
Yeah, true. But there are a couple of.
There's a few corners.
There are a few corners where you can cut that corner and then get an invalid lap time. Or I'm even thinking of someone losing control and then not just going off of their or getting an invalidated time, but getting a broken car out of it.
Oh yeah.
But as we're starting to kind of get our drivers come over the line, who is first? I believe it's El Magico. As you can see, one of the reserves tonight, also a very known pacey driver, representing the Alfa Romeo, replacing Mahi Mahi. Williams is got K-Dog coming in tonight for It's Heavy, as Narniel holds down his seat on the other Williams spot there. ZGS comes in for Kenny, who's unfortunately having some PlayStation problems in the AlphaTauri. So Brian Mosser, big day for him to hopefully open up that gap as he gets a free race on Kenny. Mentioning before, Kaz is in for the Ferrari, as normally he represents the AlphaTauri, but today the Ferrari having to stretch down into another team's youth academy, I guess we can say, and pull a driver to represent them in the Tier 1 race today. And finally, the Best Pawns is in for the Racing Point, filling in for the Garris Vac, unfortunately not being able to make it today. And JC is back, so he's going to be hoping for a solid race today, as he's been due.
Oh, definitely. Oh, certainly. So, interesting fact as well that since this year, Helga's crashed out at the start of the DRS zone, just out of turn 5. Helga's out of this race.
Out of the qualifying, at least.
Well, out of the qualifying, yeah.
I'm still on with El Magico as we see some drivers come over the line. El Magico currently a full second faster than Mosser. Oh, as Cam goes nearly a full second faster than El Magico on pole now.
On mediums, too.
Nikki going 4th fastest on mediums as well. Finds himself 7th currently. I believe that is Narniel pushes that corner a little tight and may have lost a little bit of time, but still has 3rd place.
ZGS comes over the line in 3rd. Great time for him. Noganator currently on an invalid.
Noga going around once more on these soft tires, just looking to kind of set a time as the traction on these softs are somewhat lost, but May still just trying to find his groove on this course. Got the best pawns as the next to set a time here. 137 can crack the top 5. Actually, he goes 6th fastest.
JC on the start of his lap. Noganator coming around again.
See on a Noganator actually goes purple through sector 2. Is Borg. Narniel does go into the pits. We'll see if we can follow Noganator as he finishes up this lap. As I said before, going purple through sector 2.
Pork Chop's coming over the line. No, he's starting his lap. Never mind. Noganator coming through.
In 5th fastest.
5th. Good comeback.
Very much so. Still with 3-lap old
has
softs
them an
as
invalid
well.
lap.
Cap's cutting the pit lane turn a little bit.
So next is JC to try and come over this line. As he goes 2nd quickest in his return to F1.
You're happy to see that, as well as you can. I wouldn't say he's a fairly unlucky driver, but he was one of the more consistent drivers at the beginning of the year and then has kind of somewhat fallen off.
Barry coming around the final corners. Goes 5th fastest.
Good look so far right now for the Renaults.
ZGS doesn't look like enough fast time. I think this is Ozki coming around the final corners. Yeah, it is. Ozki's goes 15th. Next is Loxon. No, he comes into the pit lanes. Elmer Jacko coming around again. Maybe starting his lap.
Pork Chop's coming over the
Pork
line now,
coming through,
139. 17th
This is
place.
Random Sirius now coming over. Maybe starting his lap. It's very hard to tell.
And then Clog is just after him, but he's looking, he might have to deal with a little bit of traffic there. Brian Moster's starting another lap, as is Enrique. I believe that's Noganator into the pits.
Pit lane. JC probably about to do the same thing. Yep. Oop, as he butchers the pit lane entry. Nicky about to start his lap. Who's next here?
See Barry, I'd imagine, into the pits.
K-Dog about to come into the pits. See Barry. Yeah, he's going to come into the pits. Cam currently on an outlap but invalid. No, that's JC.
Oski goes invalid. Pork chops.
Cam now on the softs.
Random Sirius goes actually purple through sector 2 as he's the Nexus at a time, and then followed by Clog. As we got a lineup of 4 cars there that we're about to get second times for here. Random Sirius.
Cam currently starting his flying lap.
Random comes over the line and improves the time by a second and a half. Now down to Clog. Clog also improves his time and goes to 7th. Ooh.
Cam sets a purple in sector 1.
Brian Mosser goes to 4th place. And then that's Enrique, who's into the pits. Nikki driving the Black Arrow. Coming through the final 2 turns. Doesn't make it into the 136s. Just barely improves by a whole second and now into 5th side by side with his teammate.
Ooh, Cam definitely not setting a better lap this time. Got held up by Bloxham a little bit and then just lost it almost into one of the corners.
Was that Cam you said, sorry?
Yes. So he'll most likely come into the pits now. As he decides to, yes.
You have Random Sirius at GS, the best pawns. Now on with Kaz, as he was the late substitute for this evening. Unfortunately, with this PlayStation update we just got, a lot of drivers are having difficulties properly connecting to online servers. Kaz, being the late substitution, finds himself with a solid purple sector in Sector 1, but now unfortunately goes off track, and Random Series DQs. How did Random Series DQ? What did he do? Did you catch any of that?
No, I didn't.
That is very odd stuff.
It must have been a very serious incident.
He was in the pit lane. I'm not sure. We'll have to... Hopefully we can hear from him soon here.
Seems to be an incident with Jacko.
Huh. Noganator looking to improve on his time and go into, or improve in the top 10 here. As his last couple of races, it seems that's where he's been sitting, is right on the cusp. Doesn't look like this will be his lap. He's now into the 139s, 2 seconds slower. JC with an invalid lap. Kaz still looking to set a time here. With 3 minutes left, this may be his only shot. He won't be able to get another pit stop in. He is just going to set the time now into the 141s. Finds himself 18th. Enrique improving on his time and now into 10th position. El Magico starting his lap. Pork Chops following Mosser. Oski on some... Oh, there we go. That is Noganator. Noganator is 2.5 slower. Oh, was that Monkey Mafia? Yes, it is Monkey Mafia. It seems to have lost it there.
So I do have an update on the random series incident.
Okay, yes.
So what has happened is, once it happened in the pit lane, so he was coming back into the pit lane. Once you cross the speed limit line, that's when the AI takes over and drives you to your box, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after he had crossed that line, the AI took over, and the AI seemed to slam into the wall.
Oh, really?
Lane. And then because he was stuck there for a moment, he got disqualified for blocking pit entry.
Wow.
So that's why he's currently disqualified. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happened after the race, as he said he would upload it.
Enrique calls his qualifying done. El Magico has the time to come around for one more shot. Mosser coming over the line. He will have a time to go around the track once more. Pork Chops improves to 14th now. I believe that was. JC should have just enough time to clear this as he comes over the line with no time remaining, as he is the last person to complete a lap. Clogmonger now over a half a second down on his initial lap time, comes over just 7/10 quicker, finds himself 4th with a lovely piece of driving there.
Great qualifying from Clog there.
K-Dog.
I believe the next one to come over is K-Dog.
She comes over the line and improves, but not on position. I believe that was Oski. Narniel.
Narniel comes over.
Oh, as he goes 4th.
It's Jacko coming around the final few corners. His last chance at improving his time. Pops to 2nd.
Oh, he improves, but not enough.
Brian doesn't set a lap. Pork Chops coming around, final time.
Improves his time in 1 position.
There's JC, who has our last lap setter, does not go for a lap.
Says Steve Barry is still able to go, but Clog has unfortunately blocked him off, as he was over a half a second quicker than his initial time. He's not sure how much time he lost there, but he definitely lost a little bit of time. He's coming around the final 2 corners here. And
he still
goes to
4th.
4th. Oh my god. He probably could have gone third. Clog did slow him up, not drastically, but still did slow him up.
I think Clog is currently a bot, so it's not like he did it on purpose.
Oh, true.
So the bot got in his way.
That does bring an end to our qualifying. With the Renaults looking very good here. With 3 teams having both their drivers going into the top 10, with the Renaults 1 and 4, with the AlphaTauri 6 and 9, and with the Mercedes going 7 and 8. Actually, no, and the Racing Points with 3 and 10, as I didn't see the best pawns there.
Williams looking for good points with one of the drivers at 5th. So it also seems like Jacko has received a 5-place grid penalty for actually crashing into Random Series during that pit entry debacle. Yes, so he will drop down into 7th. So that means JC is on the front row with Cam.
And Cam sets his time on the mediums.
So this is our qualifying sets out for today. So we have Cam, JC, Barry, Narniel, Clog, El Majako? No. Brian,
you're
and
right.
then El Majako and Nikki. ZGS, Best Pons, Enrique, Noganator, Pork, Bloxham, Oski, Monkey Mafia, K-Dog, Kaz, Helg, and Random Serious closing out the grid.
Okay, who do you think is getting driver, or who do you think is getting hardest charger, Helg or Random Serious?
It's tough to say. Both of them extremely well driven throughout this series.
Yeah. I think we see, I'm calling it today, we're going to see Monster back on the podium, Cam's getting a win, and JC is getting rounded up for that podium.
No one hit X.
And then Sirius is getting hardest charger. My bold predictions.
Very bold.
You know what? I've actually got a little bit of track history, if you'd like to hear there, Stat.
Go for it.
Alright, so the Marina Bay Street Circuit, the Singapore Grand Prix, in Statinized language is just over 5 kilometers, and in the American language it is 3.1 miles, a track of 9 rights and 14 lefts, 23 total turns if you can't do the math, a lap record of a 141.905 set by K-Mag in 2018. Oh, okay, you take it away, I'll get to that later.
We have 5 red lights here at the Singapore Grand Prix. We are lights out. Oh, Nadiel gets a great start in the Williams. Already up into 3rd. See Barry right behind his teammate. The Williams, the AlphaTauri come really close. The Renaults lead through the first couple corners, followed by JC, Clog, El Majako, Naniel, Brian Mossa, Pons, Nicky, Noganator, Oski. Cars all over the track heading down to turn 5. Seems to be quite clean. I think we're 3 wide down this straight. Multiple cars. Pons trying to go around the outside of Clog. They both go wide.
He did tap the back of Monster there, as did Clog tapping the back of him, so I'm not sure if we can see any wing damage. Everything seems to be fairly clean so far. I don't see too much chaos going on. Everyone seems to have full wings intact. The biggest loser right now is Enrique down in 16th place. Random Series jumping up 3, Oski jumping up 4, with his teammate jumping up 2 beside him. Narniel looking like the biggest loser right now, unfortunately, with 4. As does ZGS. As I say that, Enrique drops 5 positions. Cam's getting an absolutely killer start and is already a second and a half above his teammate.
Oh, as we have some incidents back further in the grid. Playing bumper cars. Down after 13, down that straight.
Nicky taking a look at Clogmonger and goes for the inside line and will hold on to 8th place as Clog now drops back 4 positions to 9th place. Clog now getting overtaken by Noganator as well, going from his initial start of 5th down to 10th. Not what he wants to see is, yes, he must have taken some initial damage from that start. going into the pits.
Yeah, he does have a broken wing. So I believe that's also Random Sirius coming in to the pit lane.
Kaz,
As well,
Clog,
as well as Enrique and
Sirius.
Kaz. So after a good launch from Narnil at the start, he's found his way down into 7th, currently being followed by Nicky. Cam has already built up a 3-second lead over his teammate.
And that's on mediums.
On mediums, yes.
ZGS and Bloxham going wheel to wheel. Zed taps the front wheel of Bloxham. Now Bloxham having to deal with Monkey Mafia for the battle for 10th place here. Bloxham losing his racing line a little bit. Monkey Mafia gives him a tap back into it. Coming through this nice little bridge so they get nice and tight to that right side there so they can get a good angle and a good launch into that left turn, which I'm, as I said before, terrible at.
So we currently have a battle for 2nd between Barry, JC and El Majacco. We have a battle for 5th between Mossa and Pons here. We also have a battle for 7th between Narnil and Nicky, with Noganator closely following behind. As Pons are getting a great run on Mossa heading down this front
we
straight,
lost
but
Narnil
can't
as
make
he
it.
spun out just around the final turn, as he's going to be right off to the side. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get himself back on. He's trying to re-enter safely. A couple cars in the pits there. Yeah,
Brian goes wide and Best Pons slides straight past him. So Pons now up into 5th.
Monkey Mafia, Pork Chops, and Helg are all on the medium tire treads and have all gained a whack of positions. So now we're looking very good as this race progresses forward, gaining up so many positions on the harder tire tread, or tire compound. There's no tread on it.
So Noganator is currently chasing down Nicky. Brian is trying to chase down Pons, and both Majacco and JC trying to chase down Barry. JC obviously the closer one.
Noganator's teammate spun out just after turn 3 there. Now being down in 20th after a terrific start.
Ooh, JC getting a little squirmy.
Yeah.
Outside of turn 13. El Majacco trying to take whatever he can off that. Can't get close enough.
Yeah, your true DRS section there is at the end of turn 1 here.
Oh, Barry gets really deep. This gives Pons a great launch. Heading down to turn 5. JC, what did I say?
Pons.
Ah.
Being with JC here, he keeps it within a quarter of a second. Now drafting
He's catching rapidly on Barry. Barry goes to the left, runs into the back of him. Oh, still makes the move, kind of. Barry keeps it.
Barry shows a lovely piece of driving and riding the outside there. JC is probably rightfully angry as Barry somewhat blocked off his line, but did have a legal move to make and did use it.
Yeah, Barry did make his one move.
Helg just overtook Monkey Mafia for 10th place, and Monkey Mafia is about to lose 11th place as Pork Chops just slides in there and overtakes him for 11th. Monkey going down to 12th now.
Cam has now built himself a 7.5 second lead over his teammate Barry.
Oh, we have a safety car.
We have a safety car.
Noganator seems to have gone out. Yeah,
Noganator is out of this race.
At that bridge section.
The infamous. See if we can get on board with Clog as he comes near that section.
I don't see any damage on the back end. I imagine he may have tried and gotten too close to that wall and then took off his front right tire.
Oh yeah, definitely seems so.
But unfortunately, after a string of solid races from Norganator, that is the end for his race today.
So Cam will stay out on the mediums and his teammate follows. JC and Jacko both come into the pits, as well as Brian and Nicky.
Ooh, going for the Williams or the Mercedes double stack here.
So ZGS also comes in.
It didn't seem
Hawk
to slow
also
up
comes in.
Nicky
Monkey Mafia also comes
too
in.
much.
K-Dog comes in.
With that Mercedes double stack, it was still fairly clean. I think Pork's going to jump onto the hards here and try and go to the rest of the race. K-Dog, she comes in looking to go... Oh, she's... Yep, going to the mediums. This gives a couple of drivers a chance to get back in this race. A lot of them opting for the hard compound.
Well, I think this is going to be tough for Barry, only because he hasn't made his pit stop yet. He will need to after the safety car goes away. So he needs to get deciding really quickly.
The top
when he
four
wants to change it.
have yet to pit.
They're probably the only ones to do so. I think this is maybe Helg deciding this is a really good time to gain some positions. So we do have our first safety car of this race. It's amazing how we didn't have one first lap again, as that is a very notorious thing to happen as part of this league. But yeah, we do have our first safety car of the race. It'll be interesting to see if we have another one later on. So Pons has now decided to actually go into the pit lane. He has got his tyres changed onto the medium tyres. So Barry and Oski, the only ones on softs at the moment. Oski trying to find his way up the field a bit more. But outside of that, Cam still does have the race lead in the mediums. Barry in a very awkward position now because he has to decide very soon whether he wants to come in to swap out his soft tyres. Hopefully he will look to gain a considerable lead over the others to make sure that extra pit stop does not cost him positions and time here. It was a good idea for Cam not to come in because he still has plenty of laps on those mediums. But Barry, I think this may have costed him. But So we'll just have to see when this race gets back underway. Random Serious and Kaz, the only ones not to come back into this pack yet. Hopefully the safety car will come in this lap and we will have this race underway. It's quite a long safety car, only because the track is it's just a very long track to go around. Not quite in terms of distance, but in terms of how fast you can go around it too. A lot of very slow corners and not a lot of high speed areas. So the safety car will come in this lap, meaning we will get racing underway, led by Cam. So I think to watch here will be how Barry finds his situation on the soft tyres. And if he's able to capitalise on this strategy of not coming into pit. May also be an option for Barry to go long with these softs and then pit onto hards. Meaning he still only will need one stop. As JC has a good look down, Helg instantly into the first corner. And takes the position off Helg. It's a great start from JC there. Very tight heading down into turn 5. Not a lot of action, but we will see a lot of chasing down this front straight. El Majako making the move on Helg. JC making the move on Barry. As Helg gets passed by Brian as well. As Nicky also tries to throw it down the inside of Helg. Does he get it done? Yeah, he does. Helg has lost out so many places since this restart. JC already up into second as well. So this has really backfired for Barry at the moment. He hasn't got the start he needed. There's now El Majako right on his tail as Barry goes wide through turn 13. Majako trying to get a good run down the straight, heading into turn 14. Can't quite get it. He's squeezed by Barry, tries to cut back. Oh, getting a little bit of a run, tries to squeeze him out. Majako does get close. They touch. One goes wide. Majako almost spins out, but he collects it to Ray. Oh, Barry cannot get the move back on Majako. Brian tried to make the move now on Barry, heading under the bridge. As they can't do it, Brian knocks Barry a little bit. Barry has to cut the corner. He gets a 3-second penalty for cutting the corner. That's a huge loss for Barry there. Helga's coming to the pits. He must have wing damage. So now Brian on the back of Barry. Barry's lost out so much time for not coming into the pits. Oh, Brian gets the drive out on the outside of Barry. Nicky also on the back of Barry. This is almost 3 wide. They hold station. Brian gets the move done on Barry. Barry now down into 5th. Nicky trying to go around the outside of Barry. Doesn't make it. Do they touch? Barry goes into the wall. Barry might have wing damage here, as one of the Ferraris has parked it on turn 8 of Kaz. He must have spun out. As we have a virtual safety car now. So the gap between Cam and JC currently around 3 seconds, with the gap between JC and Jacko sitting about 9. Sorry, about 7. Oh, Nicky tries to make a move, can't get it done under. Cam goes deep through turn 3. Gives JC somewhat of a good run, trying to catch up to Cam at the moment. Jacko's brought his gap down to about 5 seconds. Brian about 3 seconds off him. Nicky about 4 seconds off him. With a yellow flag in Sector 1 that's already been cleared up, so no problems there. ZGS currently trying to track down Enrique. Does have the pace, tries to go to the inside, brakes a little early. Oh, they almost collide, but Enrique keeps the position. A nice train forming from 8th to 14th. You can see, oh, as Pork goes wide through turn 10. But JC, now within 1.8 seconds of Cam, he's really made some good pace on these fresh mediums. There's a lot of people getting 3-second time penalties at the moment. No one can stick to the track limits here. As we have another virtual safety car, one of the Ferraris. No. Yeah, the Ferrari of Kaz has crashed out just before turn 5. So we do have another virtual safety car. As ZGS will come into the pits. Barry is also pitted for the hards here in the meantime. As Barry does get another 3-second time penalty. So Barry does have a long climb to go. But the gap between JC and Cam still about 1.5 seconds. With Cam on 10 lap old mediums and JC on 5 lap old mediums. So that is the one to look at here for Narniel on the back of Monkey Mafia, heading through these few tight corners as they go over the bridge. Monkey Mafia goes a little wide. Narniel trying to cut back and get a good run on Monkey Mafia. He does get DRS. He moves to the outside. Will he get it done? Heading into turn 14, he does. As Monkey Mafia almost pulls out of that. As we do have another virtual safety car. As Cam now comes into the pits. Cam using this virtual safety car time to come into the pits. Hoping to come out in a good position here. as he comes out onto the hards, meaning this will be his one pit stop for the race. So he will come out in about 9th here. As we now go racing again, as he will have now chase down Monkey Mafia. JC now the current leader by 7 seconds over Majako, followed by Mossa and Nikki, Enrique, Pons, Narniel. Cam getting a massive run on Monkey Mafia, does get the move done into turn 7. Clog right on the back of K-Dog here as well. There seems to be battles at the moment. Clogs seriously trying to get a good run on K-Dog here. Very close, heading up into turn 13. Hooks it in nicely. Clog doesn't get a good run out. K-Dog gets the better run, so she will keep the position into turn 14. Both go a little wide. So another little train forming here. Best Pons trying to chase down Enrique, while Cam is trying to get the job done on Narniel. Narniel gets another 3-second time penalty. So Cam's still within a pit stop of JC. JC will have to make another pit stop onto potentially another set of mediums or a set of hards. As Brian Mossa picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. As he's also thrown it under the bridge. So he's down into 13th now with almost a broken wing. Pork Chops overtakes him as well. Pork getting really deep. So that's devastation for our current leader. Wanting to take advantage of the weekend that Kenny is not able to gain any points on him. His cam work is now up into 7th. Still trying to chase down Narniel. As Narniel also gets a great run on Pons heading down this front straight. Doesn't have DRS. Pons also with a broken front wing, so that does not improve his situation. Pons trying to fight back Narniel. This gives Cam a great opportunity to get a run on both of them. Heading down to turn 5. Can't get past, but will hook it in nicely. Gets a better run than Pons out of turn 5. They move through turn 6 side by side. Great run on Narniel as well. Narniel moves to the inside, the outside line. Can't get it done. So Cam will have to continue to chase down Narniel here, as Best Pons will have to potentially come in soon to fix that front wing of his. JC still leading this race by 9 seconds over Majako, who is in turn 10 seconds in front of Nikki. So quite dominant from these two races, these two drivers at the moment. JC obviously coming back after missing out at least last week, if not the week before. What a great position for the returning driver, but he will need to make another pit stop at some point during this race. as Enrique will come into the pits. Cam gets a great run on Narniel and makes it look easy down the front straight. Narniel will take station behind Cam here. So Cam putting in some good work trying to chase down JC. As Narniel will now have DRS on Cam, but Cam seems to have built up a decent gap now. As Cam has also accrued a 3-second time penalty for cutting corners or pushing the track limits. So that will make it increasingly harder to end up with a win here today. Ooh, as JC hits the wall and loses his front wing. That's thrown a huge spanner into the works. JC decides not to come into the pit lane yet, but he is missing a piece of his front wing. Narniel comes into the pit lane. Cam setting the fastest lap of this race so far. So Cam not only gaining on Nicky, but also in turn gaining on JC here. Best Ponds has crashed out here under the bridge. So that brings out another virtual safety car. Might this be the time that JC decides to come into the pit lane? He will need to repair his front wing and will potentially be looking to come onto the mediums, as he will come into the pit lane now. Tries not to cross the pit lane line. Puts himself nicely into the pit lane. As El Majaka will not do that. As he will not repair his front wing. So I believe he will come out in front of Cam and Nicky here. No, I think Cam has just got it. Cam with a great run on Nicky. Nicky goes to the outside. Cam makes it done around the outside of Nicky here. So Cam and JC currently have a car between them in Nicky. Cam hoping that that gap can stay. You also have a battle further down between Clog and Monkey Mafia. Olmajaka currently controlling this race out in front on the hard tyres. 13-second gap over Cam at the moment, but on 8 lap older hards, as JC does get past Nicky here. Remember, Cam does have a 3-second time penalty here that he will have to serve after the race, but JC does have a somewhat damaged front wing and fresher tyres. As he goes a little wide out of turn 6, he will need to avoid, sorry, turn 7, he will need to avoid going any wider than he currently is, or else he himself will pick up a 3-second time penalty, making Cam's ones null. So Cam also gaining on our current race leader in Olmajaka. JC currently setting the fastest lap of the race with a 1:39.9, so it really shows his pace at the moment as he's hovering around that 3-second mark behind Cam. Clogmonger gets the job done on Monkey Mafia into turn 7. So Monkey Mafia will try to keep close, but does hit the wall a little bit. Not sure if that's led to any damage to the Red Bull. So the situation for Cam in front is getting harder and harder by the lap. JC, Cam needing to keep this 3-second gap between him and JC with the time penalty, unless JC himself has received one, if I quickly go look now. Right, JC does not look to have any 3-second time penalties, but does have 2 warnings. Oh, as we have the Ferrari of Bloxham spinning out. So that's hugely cut. Cam was able to get past that cleanly, but that's really cut into JC trying to catch Cam. So Bloxham having a shocker today. So now Cam has a 4.5-second advantage over JC. be interesting to see if Jacko decides to go all the way to the end on these hards, which in my opinion is a very tough task here. If he's able to keep the gap significant enough, he might be able to do it. We have seen Jacko, particularly in the Series 2 races, pit early and go all the way to the end, but in saying that, that's only been in 25% distance races. But at the same time, Cam isn't gaining a significant, I don't believe a significant amount of time each lap to Jacko. I haven't been able to keep track of how much that's decreasing every lap. As Bloxham himself now retires in the pit lane. So his day is done at the moment. So the Ferrari team will not pick up points at all today. Because you do need to complete 90% of the race. Which is about 27 laps. 27 to 28. Cam has gained about 0.6 seconds over Jacko this lap. Is Jacko maybe thinking of sticking it out a few more laps and jumping on the softs? Which I believe would get him out in third. And he's able to make a real run for both. As JC does pick up a 3-second time penalty now. So the gap between Cam and JC now exactly what it says on your screen. Not a lot of battles going on at the moment. I think the one battle that we have going is between Nicky and Enrique. Oh, as well as Helg and Barry. Helg currently holding up the hardest charger with 11 places, and also tied with Monkey Mafia on 11 places. Helg. Good run down the second straight on Barry. He'll have to go the outside line. Can he get it done? No, he can't. He gets pushed off a little bit by Barry, but they keep racing. No touch there as they keep going. Helg can't quite keep that close distance. Jacko still doesn't opt for the pits. I don't think those hards are going to take him to the end. The ZGS currently pits as well. Cam's sitting at about, he's just dipped under 5 seconds behind Jacko. Monkey Mafia still on the back of Clog here, I believe, unless that's the other Red Bull. No. So the Red Bull of Random Series on the back of Clog. The gap between Cam and Helmut Jacko is still sitting just under 5 seconds. But Cam is running out of time to try and catch Majako.
Alright, partner, I'm back. Had to step away for a little bit there. Thanks for taking the reins while I did.
Not a problem.
I'm not sure if you noticed. Oh, Nicky has just come on. He smashes into the wall at turn 3. And that's a yellow flag right now. I'm not sure if that'll call for a safety car.
Yeah, that's just a yellow flag at the moment.
I
we've
guess
we've had quite a few virtual safety cars so far this race.
For sure, and the situation with JC, I'm not sure if you noticed, but he's lost both sides of his wing, or the outer edges of his wing.
Oh, so he's seriously losing pace now.
Yeah, so that's why he's been dropping it back so far. I think it was after that he connected with MX Bloxham. It was from that
Well,
point on.
he did lose a little bit of his wing heading under the bridge on one of the laps before that, before he pitted. Then a few laps later he pitted, and then later on a little bit. That's when the incident with Bloxham happened.
Yes, so he's currently running with no outer edges on his front wing. So, but he's still able to hold that gap between him and Clogmonger for a little while.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm surprised he
the
hasn't
gap
actually
to watch right
pitted.
now.
Yes.
Well, if he pits, I believe he will fall behind Clog and potentially Monkey Mafia and Pork Chops. But if he stays out, he at least guarantees third.
Yeah, I think he should have. When the whole situation happened and he first lost his wing, if he did it then and threw on some softs, then I think he would have had more of enough time.
Yeah. But the gap to watch right now is between Cam and Jacko. So Jacko doesn't have, I believe, a 3-second penalty, but Cam does.
And Cam is closing that gap every lap.
As I will go check really quickly.
Now I'm not sure if this glitch is for you or if it's just for me, but both Helg and K-Dog have their RPMs absolutely maxed out every time I switch to their POV.
That does happen a few times.
Yeah.
I've had that happen to me quite a few times in a race.
Porkchop's now eyeing up a position for top 5. I think he's looking to match his best finish, which was all the way back in Canada. The stars are aligning for him here today. On the same compound of tire as Monkey Mafia is, the same amount of lap use. It's just all about who can manage these tires to the end the best.
So Elmer Jacko does have 2 warnings about track limits, as ZGS actually goes quickest in this race with a 1:38.6. So Majako doesn't have a time penalty, but does have 2 warnings. So if he slips up once, he will gain another one. But Cam now within 3 seconds with about 6 laps to go. Jacko has been riding these hard since the first safety car on lap, I think, 5.
There seems to be a lot of drivers who are doing that. Running with 19 lap old tires is Jacko, Clogmonger, Monkey Mafia, and Pork Chops. So 4 cars that have been running these
really
hard
paid
tires.
off.
For sure. As you can see, all these cars are in the top 6. But now that gap between Cam and Jacko is under 3 seconds.
It's sitting about 2.5 now, so it's even just dropped 0.5 since we last spoke about it.
Helg and Pork Chops are currently sandwiching Barry. Helg within a half a second and Barry 0.8 out from Pork Chops. I know for a fact that Helg and Pork Chops are in communication with each other. There may be a thought of trying to box Barry in and let Helg, who is the pacier driver of the 2 McLarens, to go and jump vaulting into 6th place with a double pass over Barry and his teammate. Now, a high risk move, but Pork Chops is a very good defensive driver, may have the ability to hold off Barry for the end of this race, but will give Helg an opportunity to maybe catch Monkey Mafia for 5th place, if that is done. And thank you, Nikki, for subscribing with the Prime. Unfortunate ending to your race. Cam now within 2 seconds of El Magico. Now we're getting DRS. Pork Chops does have it. Cam takes a look for 6th place, but unfortunately doesn't get it. You know what Helg's car sounds like?
What?
It sounds like Anakin Skywalker's speeder. Like, tell me I'm wrong.
It's not. That's not coming up for me. It's coming up for you. But
Oh. Oh god. Okay, chat. I'm right with this. It sounds like Anakin Skywalker's speeder. 100%. I've never had that. It sounds most like it when I'm like not spectating him exactly. Narnil seems to have got a move done on Enrique for 9th place. Oski got a move done on K-Dog for 12th place. There's still a little bit of competition going on in the back here. No one's just out here to...
between Cam and Jacko now 0.7.
Oh, Jacko must have made a mistake somewhere.
0.4, 0.3.
It's JC is in like his own race right now.
Pretty much.
He's got 25 seconds separating him from Cam, and then 15 seconds separating him from Clog. Looking at him on the mini map there, it's somewhat funny.
He's just so alone.
Yeah, he's just. There's nobody near him. There's not a car to lap or anything. Porkchops is now eyeing up a move on Monkey Mafia here. It's making up some real serious time. Cam.
So Jacko, I think he can allow Cam to go past him, but he just has to make sure he stays within that 3 second without making a mistake.
Porkchop's looking for a real good run out of this hairpin. Monkey Mafia seems to have got the better traction. Pork does have the DRS and the slipstream, looks at the inside, but not enough room. But Monkey Mafia goes wide. And Cam gets a little too heavy on the throttle and can't find the traction. Now, remember El Magico and Mystic Joker of last week? Of how much of troubles Mystic Joker had to pass El Magico.
Oh yeah.
He's proven himself
Jacko is a very superb defensive driver.
For sure.
Cam goes a little wide.
Uh,
through turn 13. We'll try to make up that time back on Jacko. Does alright.
It seems like we lost Random Serious. Yeah, this has just not been Random Serious's day, simply put.
Not at all.
Approaching onto K-Dog, the front 2R now. If K-Dog...
Ooh, Cam makes a look, but will ultimately lose time here.
K-Dog getting the blue flag of death, pulling off to the side, not really holding neither of these two up. Oh, Monkey Mafia may have lost it somewhere and loses from 5th to 8th. As unfortunately with that pack behind him being so very tight, a little mistake wound up losing him a bunch of positions. Ooh, ZGS unfortunately not able to pull off and really slows up Porkchops there. Helg is able to sneak by here as well. It kind of closes up the gap between Barry and Pork a little bit. Cam looks to shoot that inside gap, but he's got to find that spot on the track where he can get that launch out from the corner and use that DRS to his advantage. Ooh, see Barry taking a look. Oh, seems connection lag has gotten some Oh, I'm
As
not sure if you
Pork
saw
Chop
that.
loses out.
Yeah,
And Monkey Mafia is straight back up into 5th.
that is such an awful time to get a lag spike like that. Pork Chop had 5th place seemingly on lock with his defensive prowess, but now he's going to have to fight for 8th place as Narniel has joined into the party.
As we now head into our last 2 laps, Jacko forces Cam around the outside, pushes him off the track a little bit. Cam will be hoping for a good run out of this corner as he gets a decent run. Oh, Cam making it work. He's going to do it.
Going around the outside, El Magico not giving in as they go wheel to wheel around the corner. El Magico making his stick. Cam trying to snipe the inside, but El Magico makes it hold at the end. It seems we lost. Helg loses out 5 positions. Narniel jumps up now into 6th place. Barry into 5th. Enrique joins the party into 8th, and Monster into 9th. As we've just got some absolute anarchy going from position 5 down to 11. With still a fight for the top spot in this race underway.
Well, Jacko still has that 3-second time penalty over Cam. So Cam not only has to get past Elmer Jacko, but has to find 3 seconds immediately afterwards.
May be able to just force him into making a mistake.
Cam will have to, yeah.
Because he's right on the cusp. And if Cam has enough pace and is able to equal his braking prowess into one of these corners and force El Magico into the worst line, maybe it can force him into also taking a time penalty, or that final time penalty.
Great run down this straight. Jacko almost lets him pass.
Yeah, it seems as if he did.
I think the thing for Jacko now will just need to be keep within 3 seconds.
Porkchops and Enrique still in a battle for 8th here. The 2 McLaren sitting 8th and 9th. Helg dropping back 8 seconds. All the drivers from 5th down into 11th place at one point were all within a second. Now they're all separated except for the battle for 5th by over an entire second here. Can you quickly check if Clogmonger has any penalties, just in case? Oh, he does. Okay, so his podium most likely won't be coming today, but a secure podium for Cam and for El Magico, as Cam will come over the line in 1st place, but will seemingly drop down into 2nd while El Magico comes over the line. He did end up having 2 penalties worth 6 seconds here. Oski and Monkey Mafia coming in 11th and 12th. Random Series still on track. ZGS going in 14th. K-Dog coming over the line as she finishes 13th. Monster still in a battle with Barry here. Seems to have shot the line, but is going to hold on to 8th position unless something is to happen here in the later stages of this race. JC seems to have been racing this whole entire race by himself, has found that pocket of space that no one else wants to sit in, but he'll sit on 3rd place in the podium. Clogmonger, I could imagine saying that this is his best finish of the year in 4th place with a very solid outing.
That's an absolute superb race.
Holding down the fort, you can say, for the AlphaTauri with, I guess, and he'll even admit to that, the #1 driver in Kenny being unfortunately out for the day.
He's almost taken Kenny's position.
Exactly. ZGS does finish the race in 14th place, and I think he did get fastest.
Comes over in 5th. C. Barry jumps over to 5th. So now a race to the line. Brian Mosser has a great run on Enrique, but doesn't get it done. Enrique will jump up to 6th instead, and Brian Mosser will not.
0.05 of a second separate Narniel and Enrique.
I think Brian also having penalties of his own. Porkchop sits in 9th, and Helg will be the last one to come through without a front wing. Into 10th place here. Absolutely superb race here.
Hell collecting hard discharger. ZGS collecting fastest lap of the day. El Magico taking the top step of the podium, followed by Cam, who has kept his podium streak alive. Yes, I believe. Is that how many races? Just 2 races in a row. But that seems to be 4 of the last 5. Cam has found himself on the podium, and a couple of those being wins. So he's found some late season form, I guess mid-season form now, closing the gap between Mosser and him.
So let's go through your final standings here. Majako picks up another win here in Singapore, followed by Cam in 2nd in the Renault, after starting in 1st and picking up a few grid penalties, but still making it work. JC coming home in 3rd. Clog with his best finish of the year coming in 4th. Barry slips down into 5th. Enrique pulls himself up to 6th. Narniel gets 7th. Brian Mosser finds himself in 8th. Porkchops in 9th. Helg 10. Oski in 11th. Monkey Mouther in 12th. K-Dog 13th. ZGS in 14th. Random Serious in 15th. And Nikki, Bloxham, Best Puns, Kaz, and Noganator all DNFing this race.
So ZGS collecting an absolute banger of a fastest lap there. You know what? I had a note here for this track, and I want to say it before I forget. And I also have a little bit of update. So the first race of this track was in 2001 for the F1 circuit. 12 races later, only 4 drivers have won a race here, and that only being, actually no, you guess. Only 4 drivers have won in 12 years. See how many you can name. Stat? Okay, first race of F1 here in Singapore was in 2008. 12 races later, only 4 drivers have won a race. Can you name the 4?
Lewis.
Yep.
Vettel.
Yep. One of them won 2 out of the first 3.
Nico Rosberg.
Yeah, he won 1. Only won 1.
So there's one more person I'm missing.
Yeah, he won 2 out of the first 3. So he won 2008 and 2010.
So I've already gone Hamilton, Rosberg, and Vettel.
Yep.
I'm gonna say. Can I get a hint? Who did they drive through at the time?
He won 1 with Ferrari.
Which means another one was for another team.
Yes.
Was it Alonso?
It was Alonso.
There we go.
Yeah. Very well done. I had that stat and I wanted to get it out. I don't know, Stat likes his stats.
Stat for stat?
Exactly.
Stat for stat.
Now a little bit of update on the point standings here. So 16 points would be gained by Brian Mosser for today, which increases that gap between him and Kenny to 25 points. Cam is 97 points back. So if I rip some quick math here, I'm gonna need a second.
So, for this post-race interview, we will be getting Cam, Jacko.
So speaking of Cam, the difference between him and Mosser now for top spot in the Drivers' Championships is 71 points.
So he's making somewhat of a comeback.
Somewhat of a comeback, yes. I believe AlphaTauri is going to close that gap to Mercedes quite a bit, with Klog finishing 4th.
I can't see JC Chase on this list. Okay, instead of JC Chase, I want to get Klog in here because this is his best finish of the year.
Yeah, 100%. He may have not have gotten hardest charger, but he deserves it. +7. Plus fastest lap. 42 minus 60 is 20.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, fellow Australian.
So
Yes.
now the difference between, unless my math is off, between AlphaTauri and Mercedes for the constructor's title is only 8 points. After all is said and done, barring any steward changes. Mercedes has led from race 1, since race 2, Mercedes has led the constructor standings, and it hasn't been as close as it will be after this race.
Still just waiting on one, but oh, there we go. So we will start these interviews now. If you're ready, Crash.
Yeah, take her away.
We would just like to say, if anyone in the chat has any questions for our 4 drivers currently in interviews, we currently have Jacko, Helg, Cam, and Klog in for interviews today. So if the chat has any questions for any of those drivers, please let us know, and we will ask them at the end. So we will start with Jacko with a great win here in Singapore. Is this your first or second race win in Series 1?
This is my second race, first win.
Awesome. And was it a podium last race as well?
Yeah, behind the 2 Renaults.
Yeah, there we go. So absolutely great performance in Series 1 so far. How do you think your race went today?
About as well as possible, I think. With the number of virtual safety cars and safety cars, it was a bit of a guessing game as to what the best strategy might be. But I think playing it safe with the one stop was probably the best way to go, and that panned out in my favour.
Yeah, definitely. You do have a history of pulling off very early lap runs onto the hards and driving them out. We obviously saw this in Italy in the Series 2 races, where you did pit lap 1 and got your, I think it might have been the mediums or hards all the way to the end of the race. So not the first time we've seen you pull off a move like that, but definitely worked out in the end.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the Italy one was a bit more obvious with the tyre wear wasn't too high there, but here I wasn't quite sure, especially how long the lap is. But it worked out, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, definitely. And definitely those time penalties from Cam helped in the end. Were you thinking towards the end of that race to just let him go and stay within that gap of 6 seconds?
I actually wasn't focused on that at all. I was aware he's in a championship battle and being a reserve, I thought, wow, okay, this guy really deserves this race with the the lap times he put in, and he caught up making 2 stops. So I actually let him through, expecting him to win the race.
Yeah, well, we definitely thought going into that, we'd thought he only had 3 seconds, so we'd thought at that point, okay, like, Jacko must have thought that he had 3 seconds just at the end there, so okay, you've got plenty of time to stay within 3 seconds. So you were just able to just let him go through and stay within 3 seconds to get the win, but I guess you just ended up winning anyway, so congrats on the race win.
Thank you.
So we will move on to our second place finisher in Cam. How do you think your race went today?
Qualifying was good. I was happy with my pace. I was actually kind of a little stressed out the last lap because I had a decent medium lap at the first stint. And I was basically just did a couple soft stints, just getting ready, just being there in case someone were to beat that lap time, so I had the chance to defend. And I took a risk at the end because I wasn't the last one across or get to the pit lane, and so I kind of made that choice, even though I could have beat my time on softs. I just went into the pits, and luckily I was still able to maintain that pole position. I was pretty relieved about that, and the start couldn't have gone any better. Even though I didn't get that great of a start, I somehow got through turn 1 without having to go side by side or risk damage and going into a wall or anything like that. But going into lap 4, that was when the confusion started taking place, when there was a safety car, and I knew, that safety car would probably go 1 to 2 laps. You could pit lap 6 on the hards and go to the end, maybe 60% wear max. So I kind of knew, okay, that's an option, but I also thought, okay, if there's a safety car this early, perhaps then there would be another virtual, and then another safety car maybe later, and the mediums were only not even 20% wear, like 12-ish, going past the start finish of lap 4. So yeah, Jacko ended up pitting. That was very smart of him to pit under that safety car, able to not release too much of the track position, and able to climb up the ladder from there to get a tremendous gap after I had to do my one stop, going from the hards or the mediums to the hards, and catching up. I was relatively confident I was able to going to catch up, being on the fresher hards, concerning pitted lap 4 for the hards, and but I was actually really scared of JC. He was flying on those mediums. He put in that 38, I think it was.
Yeah, he was really.
Yeah, he was closing in, going on 2 seconds, almost within like 1.5, going on DRS, and I was like, man, yeah, he had the fresh mediums. I thought he was going to the end on those. He still may have actually. I was so focused on Jacko after that. I was able to pull enough big enough gap where it was just my main focus was Jacko, and got around him. I wasn't aware that he let me go by, considering all of our battles that we had.
Yeah.
I might have to call whatever that Uno car is, that drop four on Uno. Yeah, whatever that is. I don't know, but yeah, he killed it. I really struggled to get by. Couldn't form a gap, and I couldn't keep it on track in the track limits. Got those 2 pens, and yeah, killed me in the end. But I'm still happy to come P2.
Oh yeah, definitely. So the what happened to JC was when he was in front of Jacko before that's his second stop, he touched the wall going under the bridge, so he lost the front right a little bit. But he continued to go, and he didn't fix that on his pit stop. So then he came out behind you and Nikki, like right behind the two of you. And then he kept going, and he was obviously catching you and stuff. And then I think he hit the wall again on the other side. So he was without. He was without a full wing for majority end of that race. He hit the other bit. No, he hit when you know how Bloxham spun out at the. I think it was after turn 9 or 8 or something. Turn 8. It was after turn 8 where he spun out. Bloxham then pulled back, and JC clipped the front of his wing on Bloxham's wing.
Oh man!
So he was without a proper front wing since that point. So
yeah,
that's why
the
gap was just
fast.
Yeah, the gap was just opening and opening and opening. So he still ended up getting third, so he still ended up with a good position in the end. But yeah, unfortunate in the end. Yeah, congrats on the P2 finish, and hopefully that gap I do believe has shrunk even a little bit just on Brian. I think the gap now down to 71, if I'm right, Crash.
Huh?
The gap between Cam and Brian about 71 points now.
Yeah.
Did you calculate?
Yeah.
So yeah, the gap ever so slightly closing, but still plenty of a season to go. So good luck for the rest.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So we'll move on to Clog, who's had his best finish in the Midwest F1 League so far, finishing in 4th place here at Singapore. How do you think your race went?
A lot better than it ever does. Oh, there we go. Headset's up. A lot better than it ever does.
Oh, definitely. It's almost as if you took over the role of Kenny for this race in the AlphaTauri.
Well, that would be fabulous if I could just try to match that for the rest of the season. But yeah, I actually put in a lot of practice this time. I don't know why, because I'm usually not the greatest at street tracks, street circuits. That's what it's called. And yeah, so I just put in a lot of practice. So it kind of paid off. So
yeah, it certainly paid off. So did you do a 1-stop or a 2-stop for this race?
I did a 2-stop. I got off to a pretty good start, and then corner, whatever it is, 3, I think it is. I kind of got, I was going around the outside, kind of got pushed into the wall, and then I pitted, and my strategy was soft hards, but my pit threw on mediums. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to do a 2-stopper. And then the safety car came out around, was it 4 or 5? And so I just was like, I can lose a couple places. And I just went in and threw hards on and raced that to the end.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, that's definitely worked out in the end with your best finish so far this year.
Now, we actually got a couple of questions from the chat quick. One from our Lord and Savior there, Pork Chops, and I believe a friend of yours. How did you not screw this one up? Is his question.
I don't know. I actually don't mind Singapore. Like, Monaco, everyone knows how I feel. It can go get craps. But, like, Singapore's not that bad for me. And I kind of, like I said, I practiced a bunch. So I kind of got the itch this week to do some racing. So I did a few 50%ers. And, yeah, kind of got my lines and everything. And it worked out nicely.
Awesome, good to hear.
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
I actually got a question from your teammate. He asks, how did you feel after the safety car when everyone started winding down and you may be thinking you had a chance of a great finish? What was going through your mind there?
I was really nervous. I had a P2 for the last, like, 10, 15 laps, and that really didn't help. But
Made you go quicker, though.
Well, I noticed at lap 16, I had 4.6 extra laps of fuel, so I actually ran rich for probably half the race to just drain some of that to make me lighter and go faster, and yeah.
Well, that's good to hear, man. Very huge congratulations towards you, as this is a finish that I think that you deserved, honestly. So I'm glad to see you finally got it.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
So we now move on to Helg, who did pick up fastest charger in this race. Obviously not the greatest qualifying. Would that be correct, Helg?
100%, yes. Didn't even get past turn 4. So.
So it was. So was it at turn 3 that you crashed?
Turn 4.
Turn 4.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. What? Okay. What turn? Wait. What turn 4 are you talking about? Because turn 5 is the one right before the straight. Turn 4 is that little left kink.
Ah. Turn 5 then.
Yes. There we go. Did you just get too like deep on the brakes?
Didn't really warm up my tires at all. On the out lap, so I'm guessing it was just cold tires and got on it a little too soon, and it whipped me around into the wall. So
yeah, definitely unfortunate. Didn't end up on the bottom place of the grid though, with the interesting debacle going on with Random Serious. Jacko would have had a really good vision of that, would you, Jack?
Yeah, not kidding. I came around that blind corner and I just saw the Red Bull parked there, and I ended up actually hitting him and got myself a 5-place penalty.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
just I
it's very
completely forgot
interesting.
about that.
Yeah, very interesting qualifying. But yeah, great to see you in the end. Pick up some really good points for McLaren there,
Yeah.
Helg. So talk us through that last probably half of the race where there was about 6 or 7 of you all within like a second of each other. Would you say that was a lot of chaos?
Amazing racing between Barry and I there just to catch up to the group in front of us. And then we ended up catching up to Pork and Monkey. And then all 4 of us kind of got into it. And yeah, that was really good racing there for a little bit. So.
Oh yeah, and Enrique joined in, and then someone else joined in.
Yep. So I think that was more towards the later last few laps as I lost a front wing in between all of that at some point, and so I dropped back all the way down to 10.
Yeah, well, what was that incident? I forget which lap it was, but it was down that long straight after turn 5 where Pork lost out quite a few positions, Monkey gained quite a few positions, and it seemed like there was some sort of incident there, but we weren't able to catch it. What happened there?
It just looks like Barry and Pork were side by side going into turn 5, and somehow they collided, and both of them kind of went sideways. Monkey and I were able to pass them pretty cleanly, and then it was a pretty crazy battle between all 5 of us. So
yeah, very very entertaining to keep track of. So yeah, congratulations in the end. Pick up good points, and with the bonus point as well. So yeah. So do we want to wind it down now, Crash?
Yeah, I'll throw another shout out to our new collaboration with Raise Energy there. Like I said before, go give them a check. Or go check them out, sorry, as I'm trying to remember proper English. Go check them out. They've got a very solid product. A lot of the guys at the Midwest F1 League have tried said product, and we wouldn't be agreeing to collaboration with them if we didn't back that said product, and we very much do. So go give them a check out. Just want to throw out a thanks to a couple people out there, and Bunzy for the follow, and What's Up Scotty123 for the follow. Bennett Boss gifted a sub, and Nikki used his Prime subscription, so very much appreciated all of those 4 guys today, and we hope to see more tomorrow. But yeah, give us your final thoughts, and I'll bring it home.
Yeah, so we've seen a very very fun race here at Singapore. Notoriously difficult track, but I think the drivers made it very entertaining to watch. So yeah, can't wait for next week where we do go to. Let's have a look. We will be in France next week. So another really good track for, hopefully for some fun racing.
Circuit Paul Ricard.
Yes. Controversial, particularly in the real F1s, but here in the Midwest F1 League, we can't wait.
Yeah, we've been there at least once, I believe, in Series 2.
We've been twice.
We have been there twice now, have we? No, we
Yeah,
haven't.
so Series 2 competed earlier in the year. Earlier in the season, sorry. And the F2s were there, I think, a couple weeks ago.
I think they did their preseason
Practice. Ah, yes. That's
there.
correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, technically the 3rd time. 1.5, we can say it. But, other than that, like my colleague said, next week in France, 1 week today, tomorrow, with our Tier 2 league at Silverstone, where you can see Jacko getting in a fight with Meeb over first place here, as well as Mystic Joker, as don't forget about that, guys. He's got some major pace and scares a lot of people. But that's just on the racetrack. I'm just kidding. But anyways, I'm going to try something different here. I'm going to try my announcer voice. So...
Yeah, bring it home.
Bring it home? Yeah, okay. Oh, God. I was doing it all day today, but now I'm nervous. But ladies and gentlemen, please tune in next week, Thursday night, as we go live, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, 12:30 in Australia, 2:30 a.m. in England for the Tier 1 Midwest F1 League. Tune in tomorrow for the exact same times as we are racing in Tier 2, as I said, in Silverstone. So make sure you tune into that. Follow us on Twitter, like us, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Shoot out some likes to us on Twitch, and make sure you tell your friends about the quality product that this Midwest F1 League has to offer. So with that said, and with that being said, we will see you tomorrow night. It's pretty good, eh?